One of these was Blandina, a young slave girl.
The crowd subjected her to every horror and punishment. Yet she was by now indifferent to suffering and kept faith in Christ.
To the crowd's amazement, Blandina endured 3 days of horrific torture in the arena.
In the end, she too was killed, though the pagans admitted they had never seen a woman suffer so much for so long. Eusebius.
The more that you persecute, the more you raise the stakes. It's a terrible gamble, because in throwing people to the lions, you do it in an enormously public fashion. And if the martyrs play the game well, if they not survive their martyrdom, but maintain their dignity, keep the crowd on their side through the martyrdom, then it's a wonderful recruiting ground. And the effect of great persecution is that everyone knows you've got to go this way or that. The big choice is Christian or not.
A protest movement was quickly gaining momentum. Its very popularity posed a fundamental threat to the Roman way of life. By the middle of the 3rd century AD, Rome was consumed by doubt. As chaos and confusion racked the empire, everyone began questioning the benefits of Roman rule. Between 235 and 270 AD, more than 30 Roman generals proclaimed themselves emperor. As Roman legion fought Roman legion, innocent citizens were caught in the crossfire of civil war. Barbarians seized the opportunity and streamed across the frontiers. Germans in the west and Parthians in the east disrupted the provinces. Inflation soared and livelihoods were destroyed. The promise of salvation in the next life was becoming very appealing. Christianity's tradition of charity attracted many converts in Rome's century of chaos and doubt. The size of the catacombs in Rome, the cult's secret meeting place, shows just how popular Christianity had become. By the middle of the 3rd century, there were an estimated 5 million Christians in the empire.
It's an indication of the strength of the church at the end of the 1st century, and particularly of the level of church organisation. We've got a church now that's got a growing membership and that has got a hierarchy of clergy and bishops throughout the Mediterranean.
In 284 AD, Diocletian was crowned emperor. He had risen through the ranks of the army to seize power in Rome. As befitted a military man, his vision for the future was brutal and bold. Diocletian felt the key to unity lay in division. He split the Roman world in two and agreed to share power with 3 other generals. Their coordinated efforts did bring peace, but only for a time. Diocletian ruled for over 20 years, but spent only 2 months in Rome. He was forced to spend most of his time in cities like Trier, Germany, to be closer to the wars on the frontiers. Rome, a beacon of strength for over 1,000 years, felt increasingly vulnerable, as did the emperor. In a desperate bid for respect, Diocletian proclaimed himself the son of Jupiter, and insisted that everyone kneel in his presence and kiss the hem of his robe. To many, it was empty spectacle, and they began looking elsewhere for reassurance. Now, even members of the imperial court were secretly converting to Christianity.
Diocletian has said that the unity of the empire is not just a military matter, but it's a religious matter. And if we can stamp out Christianity, then we will all be worshipping the same gods, so we will all be the same empire. And when that gamble fails to come off, you fail to stamp out Christianity, the martyrs produce more Christians.
On February 24th, 303 AD, Diocletian initiated the most sweeping persecution Christianity has ever faced. Churches were burned, scriptures destroyed, Christians sent to work in state mines, or imprisoned and tortured for their beliefs. If they still refused to sacrifice to Rome's gods, they were publicly tortured. Rome, once a proud culture of tolerance, had become a repressive cult of order.
What we see in Diocletian's persecution of the Christians are the only two Mediterranean-wide organizations, the Roman state and the Christian church, battling it out for supremacy.
In 305 AD, Diocletian retired to his summer palace, confident that Rome had won. He was wrong.
In the blood of the martyrs lie the seeds of the church. Tertullian.
There's an irony about Roman history in that one of the great accomplishments of Rome were the roads. And I think it's fascinating that those roads are what did Rome in. Because over those roads came the cults, came ideas that would undo the Roman identity and Roman sense of self.
For centuries, Rome's power and confidence had been unshakable. She had basked in the achievements of her empire, convinced of the glory of her rule. But a cult from Judea confronted Rome's arrogance, challenged her inequality, and exposed her brutality. Rome, once a symbol of order and control, was crumbling into chaos and confusion.